is the Rangers Journal Night.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rangers Journal Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Mackay, and I'm delighted to be joined by the part-time male model / good pal of mine, Stuart McFadden. How you doing? How you getting on, mate?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. Glad to be back. It's been a wee while since I've been on a pod, so thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome, mate. Should I say Stuart McFadden MBE, or you change it that much?
Local hero.
Professor Stuart McFadden.
I prefer Doctor. Local hero. Influencer.
Influencer. Jesus.
General role model to all.
Right, so I've obviously not seen you in a wee while, mate. It's a Merry Christmas and all that jargon. How you coping after that game last night? What's your kind of initial thoughts about it? Where you at with that game like yesterday?
I think it's weird with Rangers. We seem to be going through these like peaks and valleys performance-wise, and it certainly feels like we've hit the bottom of the valley with that one. Obviously, we're on a good run of form. That Old Firm game, obviously the end result and the way the result ended kind of changed my feeling on the game. But during the game, I thought that Old Firm game was maybe one of the best Old Firm games in years. And we're thinking maybe we'll continue that form. You know, we're on that kind of path of ascendancy. But then the game against Dundee, which was a turgid 1-0. Again, we've got all this possession, all the shots. We escape a 1-0. And then it's a similar story last night. Although we've continued the descent, we've had all the possession, all the attempts, all the ball, and we lose to St Mirren. No disrespect to them, but it should be a fixture. You think we're winning. But yeah, it was pretty disappointing. It's another stage where we've had a chance to gain some distance back on Celtic, and we've not taken the opportunity. It was just a kind of very demoralising overall. Although, did we do enough to win the game? Probably, but it's just the kind of story of Rangers just now, where that's not the end story.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts?
First half was very come on-esque. I think it's fair to say, I think when you see a first half like that for Rangers, it gives you a wee shake and reminds you what his style of play really is like and where we've been, and made me question whether he's a man for a job, to be brutally honest with you or not. I know the boys in the chat were all saying he needs more time, and I think one of them even says he should maybe get another transfer window to see about getting his own players and stuff like that. And by the end of the day, mate, we were third in the league for X amount of months there.
Do you think the starting lineup had an impact on the first half performance?
Aye, definitely. But did Jamaica Raskin not play?
I've no idea. I mean, you first look at is that his reward for being the man of the match for Rangers for the last 4 or 5 games, that he just gets dropped for a game he should arguably run the midfield in? I don't know if he's possibly got an eye on the second, but if that's the case, I disagree with it, because to quote Steven Gerrard, it was one game at a time. You play what's in front of you first, and then you look at what you've got for the game when it comes around. So if he's dropped Raskin, try to keep him fit, make sure he doesn't get injured. That's what happens when you don't play your best players.
Aye, definitely. And don't get me wrong, mate. When probably one of these hit and miss episodes we done a while ago, I was probably saying Nico Raskin was going to be a miss and he wasn't up too much. And I think Clement came out post-match yesterday and actually says that it was because if he picked up a yellow, he wouldn't play against Celtic.
What did he say that or anything?
Apparently. That's a pile of pish to me. I'm not one for swearing and that, but it's Christmas and I'm on a pod and I'm full of lucky, so it's about cut that crap out, man. You play your best team. So we could have potentially went down to 6 points with them. Had we won last night and beat Motherwell and beat them at Ibrox, we were 12 points behind, and the narrative about a title challenge has left us again.
Aye.
Well, because he's scared of one player picking up a booting. Don't get me wrong, it's not just down to Raskin not playing right. There was an awful lot about the starting lineup and that last night that I didn't agree with. Dujon Sterling at centre back, what did you think?
I wouldn't necessarily be unhappy with that. If that's where we want to play him, then play him there. I feel that now Sterling's at the point where he doesn't play bad, but I don't feel he's like he's exceeding in any of the kind of jack of all trades jobs that he's got. See if we've got to play him as a centre back, he's certainly maybe got the agility and the athleticism to be a ball carrying centre back. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. Maybe he could be a Magic Beguera-esque type figure. But play him then, don't just if you're chop and change him, don't start. Was a few weeks ago, last month, they said that Sterling's only got 60 minutes in him. So I don't know, I feel that he needs to be given a position to make his own rather than being this utility player that he's kind of known to be. What did you think?
I think if you're looking at Sterling's injury record, I don't think playing right back suits him because he's got dodgy hamstrings, he's got a blocked nerve in his back, he's got groin issues, calf issues, you name him. He doesn't seem to be somebody that can play a kind of high intensity position like right back, the way Rangers used a right back at a certain level without his body breaking down. I think if there's enough at centre back guy, you need to go with it, you need to run with it, you need to play him. As you say, but you need to stick to hit that as his position, you know what I mean? I like him, he's aggressive, he's good with ball, his feet, he can carry the ball at defence, he's got pace to get back. Just pick him somewhere and play him, because this isn't good for him or us.
No, definitely not. He needs to be offered stability and knowing what his job is day in, day out, what he's coming in to do. I mean, arguably even the training he's going to be doing for centre back's not going to be the same as right back. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously there's a lot more running for the right backs, especially in the way we play. But I think he's a player that can be relied on. I think certainly he might have a run at centre back now, given I don't know what's happening with Balogun in that injury. John Souttar's still out. Apart from Proper and Leon King, I don't really know what other centre backs that we've got at the moment to call on.
Nah, it's definitely a position they need to fix in January. If any position they're going to look at, it's an awkward one, because if you looked at here's a bit of conspiracy theory of mine, right? So we won that yesterday. You get into second, you beat them. You're doing to 6 points. Does there all of a sudden majestically a transfer budget appear for somewhere to then go to come on and say, instead of getting one player on loan, you can now have a loan player and a permanent, like we've done with Diamande, in terms of loan with an obligation to buy. There's 4 or 5 million there now. To me, it's all about the narrative. If come on is winning games and doing his job, the board will back him to some extent. But is it going to be now that the board are just going to go, we'll just kick your can down the road and all be while longer? Do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts in January and kind of come on at the come on to the help?
I think you've kind of probably touched on something there that might have kind of an air of truth about it. Like you're saying, if the results had went last night went his way and the Motherwell game goes his way, then we're going in to the Old Firm game of the second with we need to make up 6 points to draw level with them. Then maybe they give them funds in January to push for that. Give them a little bit more ammunition. But if we get to January and it's looking like a foregone conclusion, because even signing in the January transfer window is always, it's kind of like it's a hell of a window to try and make a meaningful, decent purchase in or acquisition in. It's always the summer windows when you feel well, I personally think any team does their best business because they're not rushed or pressured to do something. So I think if, like you're saying, if there was a real chance of them making up that ground in Celtic, there's talk of a title race again, you probably would have got slung a bit of dough to try and change it and get it over the line. But if it's looking like a foregone conclusion and we're just kind of treading water to the end of the season, taking second place again, rebuilding this summer, then I don't see much happening in January. Probably agree with you.
I think it's fair to say. What did you make of Mitch come away with a really, really good point in his chat earlier on, surprisingly?
When? Mitch?
Aye. That.
All right.
Now that Jack Butland obviously had his baby daughter during the week, congratulations to Super Jack Butland. But was he maybe playing last night with some baby brain? Should Liam Kelly not have started?
That was a good point, by the way. I take my comments back. That was a good point. I remember the first few days. It's just that it's a blur. I don't think the fans would have been upset if he took the next week off. You know what I mean? Just because he's had a newborn baby. I think possibly, he's run on fumes. Probably had no sleep. Doing how many late night feeds, early morning feeds. Aye. Probably wasn't the best. No.
I know. And St Mirren wouldn't have got a penalty either. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Right, so on to the wee hit. There you go.
No, I mean, sorry, just before we move on to the hit or miss side, but yeah, whether he's got baby brain or not, what was he doing, man? Absolutely cleaned him out, man. Absolutely destroyed that attacker for St Mirren. I seen it and flinched. I nearly spat my beer out. Nearly. Didn't, but nearly spat my beer out. It was a horrendous challenge. He's lucky to stay on the park. Although somebody explained to me that he can't do the double jeopardy, he can't award a penalty and a red. I was like, all right. But I just thought like serious misconduct.
Aye, you battered him. I don't understand how it's a yellow card because it's in a box. But if he's outside the box, he's all of a sudden preventing a goal scoring opportunity, so it's a red card. Who makes these fucking rules up? Honestly.
Smarter men than us, mate.
I know, mate. I know. Anyway, a quick question here for James. He's saying, how do we fix this? Doesn't matter who a manager is. He'll likely need around 2 or 3 years to fix this and he won't get that much time. Any solutions, Stuart?
I don't know. I think James kind of nails on the head. I think we do need this period of stability with the same guy at the helm. I think we do need somebody to implement a style, a way of play, which obviously we've not seen a lot of as yet. But similar to what we've done with Gerrard. And Gerrard came in at a time where it was easier to make leaps and bounds forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see the marked and instant improvements that he made. You can draw parallels at what Clermont's trying to do. And I think you do need to give somebody time, investment of time as well as money, for us to become stable as a club overall. I don't know if we've picked the right guy for it, but I think we've kind of made our bed at this point. I think it's easy for the cries for him to get rid to come, but I think we maybe need to see what's going to happen in the short term before we decide on the long term. What do you think? Do you think it should be Clermont out? Do you think it should be gone?
100%. I'm done.
Do we not get to that thing where if we repeat the same thing? Hire a manager, give him a year and a half, sack him, get a new guy in, and the process gets repeated. I mean, not just somebody kept quoting if you do the same thing.
This manager's lasted an extra 3 months, so we've broken the cycle. He should have been sacked in fucking October, going by Rangers fucking records. For me, like dropping, getting beat off Kilmarnock, Aberdeen, dropping points to Dundee United, beat off St Mirren now. That's three big losses and a draw off the top of my head already. There's more than that. Humbled off Celtic at their stadium as well. 3-0. I know he's done a hard job in terms of his rebuild and kind of the job he's had today. There's certainly mitigating circumstances in some of that, but just things like yesterday don't help me. He needs to be able to control that. Like, there was even when the cup final was, there wasn't an acceptance about it, right? But there was.
Because we did love on this time.
There wasn't an acceptance, but there was merely you know what, we get beaten penalties. There's not really much you can do about that.
No.
We've run them ragged. We won the first half. They probably won the second half. Very even game. Extra time. Both teams cancel each other out. Should have had a penalty. We didn't get one. Blah, blah, blah. I just think if he doesn't win in the second, I think it's curtains, because I understood the whole thing about not getting rid of him because it was a rebuild and he needed time, but if he gets beaten the second, no Rangers manager survives seven defeats against Celtic. See if he's still Rangers manager if we get beat the second. I dread to think what's going to happen. I really do dread to think what's going to happen. Just my opinion.
So you think if we beat them in the second, that changes the season, changes Clermont's CV, changes Clermont's perception with the fans overall?
No, I don't know as much as it changes that. I just think it buys him time. It doesn't change nothing because it would have changed something had we won yesterday. But his team have went and buggered that up from that shoddy first half display. So it's about really we need to lay down a marker and win 2 or 3-0 in January. And I don't think we've got that in us, to be brutally honest with you. Because
no,
say what you want, Celtic are a quality side. But even if we do win, still doesn't put you within 6 points. It puts you within 9 points. And he's then went for the guy that's never beaten Celtic in 7 matches to the Rangers manager who's won 1-7 against Celtic. There's never going to be a positive spin on it for him because he never won yesterday, and that's the most kind of damaging bit for me, is that he's not doing it against the wee teams, and you can get back to, he make up his squad, not enough Scottish players or British-based players in or whatever. Some of his signings have been good. I've liked Jeff Day, I've liked Barron in flashes. There's certain aspects of his squad I love Iggerman. Absolutely love Iggerman. I think Germany's finally we've got a right winger can put Bonnie back in it for you. But then there's other things like Robin Probber at centre half. Jack Butland, we finally took Jack Butland into a level now.
We've ruined him.
Mm-hmm. We've not ruined him. It's a bit of both, but he's not the same keeper he was last season. He was part of Andy Gorham saves in that last season. You know what I mean? But now he's not. It's as simple as that. Because I got lifted for that assault on that some player yesterday.
Easily.
It was unreal. Right, so hit and miss. First one I want to chin you about is Danilo. You says he was a miss in the summer.
Oh, we're starting at front?
Miss.
Okay.
Right.
So I will staunchly defend my point of view at the time. At the time, it was an absolute miss because he hadn't kicked the ball, hadn't scored, hadn't contributed, other than taking $6 million out of the bank for us. But I'd say that has changed now. He's obviously recovered for that long injury. Still walks with a limp for some reason, but I'd say he's performing well now. He's converting chances, scoring goals. So I would say at this point he's a hit. He's done the work to change Stu's opinion on him. So well done, Danilo. Where are you at with him?
Oh, he's a hit. As I says to you at the time, it's not his fault that he got his knee mangled at Tynecastle and he got his face bust open at St Johnstone. Whereas you just look at his compadre, Cyril Dessers, who can't take a first touch, can't pass the ball, can't shoot, can't run, can't dribble. What else do they pretty much anything.
Arguably though, going into the new year, he's 12 goals, is it 5 or 6 assists? So if he finished the season at 24 goals again, if you assume he can continue on what he does, it's 24 goals and maybe approaching double figures in assists. A poor performance if he was to get to that, or judging by halfway season point. I know what you're saying though. When I'm watching him, I hate him as well. Like the misses is unbelievable, and he looks tired. He looks slow.
It's not that. It's how he affects us playing as a team that annoys me most. Because you look at Iggerman, right, against Spurs, for example, dropping the ball deep, bringing it in, bringing ours into play, dropping deep, making wee runs, dragging Tottenham defenders everywhere. And then you've just got Dessers leaning against his centre back.
And falling over.
Doing nothing else apart from leaning on his centre back. It does nothing. So, to be a Rangers number 9 in this system, you need to be able to do what Danilo and Iggerman does, and that's link up play, make runs, run channels, stand in the box, etc., etc. And Dessers.
So is Dessers a hit for you then?
Yeah, aye. I know he's well and truly a miss. Who else is there? Agaman. Would you make a wee Hamza?
And I think he's done another one. He's another one that's done well to change the kind of the story of his arrival, where he wasn't even training with the first team. He was getting like one-on-one like tuition. He wasn't even deemed
Right.
good enough or ready enough to be training with the first team. So the time he's changed that around, he kind of become he's almost ticking the boxes, that kind of talisman style striker. We're kind of looking to him for big goals now. So he's done very well. I think he'd say he's a hit now.
And Scott Bees just says he's raw. See, even that wee class touch, that wee 1-2 done with Cherny and it's at one box yesterday.
Aye.
Fake corner, that's the type of thing you're looking for.
I know. He was unfortunate with the finish there.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Although I seen somebody's comment flash up there saying that about if he missed that one, do you think that's fair? I kind of agree with it, to be honest.
No.
I think if Dessler had missed that one we're talking about right now, would have been paying for his blood.
You're probably right in terms of narrative, but Dessers doesn't play 1-2 to create a chance in the first place.
No.
Not for me, doesn't it? Because he's not got that kind of thing in his head, that intelligence of the football brain, so to speak, to be able to do that. What about Blackcliff Cherny? Where are you with Cherny?
Yeah, that's a hit. And that, do you know, the story with him will be the same as the Sema one. He's going to end up, I think he's our top goal scorer, and he was top goal scorer in the league up until recently. I don't know if that's changed, but he's certainly up there if he's not at the top. And a guy will not be able to afford to keep. I heard the rumour there's 6 million for him.
For who? For Cherny?
Right.
I don't know. Need to wait and see on that front. It all depends on what's going to happen with Clermont. If Clermont loses his job in January because of a Celtic game, then this really is how big it is for me. If he loses that job in January because of a Celtic game, then your manager might come in and say, I don't like a left-footed right winger. Do you know what I mean? They might not want him. You don't know. I do probably agree with Scott B. Oh, he's a hit, aye, but not 6 million. I'd go and get Sema back for that money. There's a lot better you can spend 6 million on. In my eyes, anyway, in my eyes. Somebody that could probably play across the front three, playing a 10 wide left or wide right and still have that kind of impact. Cherny could probably do that right enough, don't get me wrong. I think he's got a good football brain and he's overall a good player. He's just not... See that whole narrative about falling in love with a lone player? I just don't have it with Cherny for some reason. I've not got that same kind of buzz with him as what I had with Sema that last year, Malik Tillman the year before. I don't know, it's just I'm looking for something like that to spend that amount of money on.
Is Hadji, since he's come back in, a hit or miss for you?
Hit. 100%. In the Kilmarnock game where we won 6-0, I noticed one of Kelly players gets the ball and the Stu's disappeared. One of the Kilmarnock players gets the ball and Hadji just sticks his arse into one of them. And it's completely unreal. It's absolutely brilliant. Get your questions in, folks, while we're waiting on Stuart coming back. Here he is.
I don't know what happened there. It just jumped off. I can still hear you the whole time, but
I feel free to come back in.
Yeah, great man. The only kind of frustration for me is that it took so long to sort this alleged contract issue out, where he would have got so many. It was a 7,000 extra a week if he made a X number of appearances. Like, I think Hadji's been quite kind of transparent for the beginning, where he didn't want to leave. He wanted to play. He sat and played in the B team reserves, scoring braces and hat tricks because he wanted to stay at Rangers after the exceptional Euros that he had as well for Romania. So the amount of time that he was out the team for, when that could easily, there was clear will on his end to resolve that issue, and we waited how long we could have been doing with him. That's my only frustration. But he himself, his performances since he's come back in, definitely a hit for me anyway.
Yep. Aye, definitely for me. I think he's been I think it's a case of lost time for Giannis at Rangers now, getting shipped out on loan last season. See the thing that we've done to him as a club. Took him back. If done that bad knee injury, right? Took him back, gave him a big contract, and you think that's good of Rangers to do that. Gave him a bit of security. Punt him out on loan, bring him back, take his number 7 shirt number off him, demote him to a B team, and then tell him that he's not getting his wages anymore or he's not playing. Come on, man. Behave yourself, Rangers.
I know, it doesn't make it look good.
No, it certainly does not. It certainly does not. And then you get folk complaining because his feathers raging about it. Feathers got every right to be raging about it, but he's back in the team now. That's the main thing, he's making an impact. Who else would you want to go for next?
What do you think about Tom Lawrence this season?
Miss.
Have to agree.
Miss. He's shown
That's an
flashes
easy
of
one, though.
brilliance, but he's not like scoring against Stoya and the Europa League and that. But when him and Dessers were starting up like, beside each other, he was in the 10 and Dessers was in the 9. I was honestly fucking just wanting to go and jump the halfway toaster, man. It was torture watching they two. Absolute torture. He's got a contract at the end of the season. I would probably try and get a nominal fee from him in January and try and move him on. When I say nominal, I mean like £100,000 or something, because he just wants his wages off the wage bill. You know what I mean?
Aye. What did you?
That'll be good.
Another player we were expecting big things from this season was Oscar Cortez. It's got to be a miss.
Probably sits in the miss category for me just now as well, because he's been injured, isn't it? Do I think there's a player in it, right? Should we have spent $4.5 million signing him for the next 4 or 5 years? Probably not. But he's here now and we're stuck with it, so we just need to kind of see. What about you on Lawrence? Where you at? Did you want rid in January or?
I think so. Nah, it's not worked out. He's not been able to stay injury free for prolonged spells. So sorry, he's had flashes of brilliance. He was probably one of the best initial signing under Gio because he just hit the ground running right away. He never ever recaptured that form. He used to be one of the guys who wouldn't mind taking a ping from outside the box, but he still seems to have left his game as well now. So I think it's time to move on for Tom Lawrence.
The sad thing about Tom Lawrence is when he first signed under Gio, you thought we look as if we've got a player here. We've not really had a chance to see it since. It's almost as if he's just been cursed for signed that. It's crap that it's not worked out. Hey, what about Rabbi Matondo?
Who?
He's Rabbi Matondo.
I guess he's one of these guys. He'll be fit for 5 games. Maybe come on a couple of assists, some breathtaking runs down the side, maybe score a couple of screamers, and that's him injured for the next 9 months.
Aye, I know.
I mean, there's people who've had kids in the kid between his injury spells, man. That's how he's always out for absolute age. And he's on big money as well. And he's on like 27, 28 grand a week.
So James has just put a belter in. Matondo got a 6-week injury 16 weeks ago. Super.
What do you think Bajrami? See hit or miss for you since he's signed?
Good in Europe. Showing flashes domestically. Like a goal against Aberdeen. The right left. With Audrey. You need players to step up like that. I think we need to play the 10, but I think when he's been played in the 10, he's not seen enough of the ball. If that makes any sense. Your 10 needs to be a main playmaker. And he's not when he's in the 10, so it's a hard one, but for output, I would probably say it's a miss for me, to be honest with you, mate. But it's a slight miss. It's not like Dessers where I'm like, no, get him out and blah, blah, blah. It's very much right now he's a miss, but he's got the capability to change it very quickly.
I I agree with you on that one, and I hope he does. What do you think? Is Diomande been a hit this season?
Diamandi's improving. I actually thought he was maybe one of our better players last night. I know he was making an awful lot of errors. Like when the ball was going to his back, he was making professional fouls and all this kind of stuff. But he's trying to influence the game and stuff now. I think you're slowly starting to see Diamande grow into a Rangers jersey. But it's not long before time, if you ask me. What about you?
I'm a wee bit kind of, don't know. Like he's kind of been kept out of the team semi-regular between Barron and Raskin. See when he first signed as well, I kind of felt he was a goal threat, which he seems really not to be doing that anymore either. That seems to be not part of his game. So it's a bit of a kind of vanilla signing for me this season. I'd probably say still barely a hit. He needs to do more though.
Right. I think the chat comments are pretty much summing up. He's really good on his day, but people expect Dale to get goals and assists and so on, but come on, he's got the shackles on him, which is hampering him and us. It's hard to tell what's really happening. I just hope that in that role he's got next to Raskin in midfield, that's going to be one settled area in the team that and you can see Diamande starting to really influence stuff going forward. Now that he's got that sitter. That's what I would be hoping for anyway. Nico Raskin's doing up at him.
Absolutely hit. He's one of the few Rangers injury success stories where he's come back from injury, been ready to go, and he ran the show for 4 or 5 games there. And obviously his reward for that was getting dropped for last night. But yeah, no, absolutely hit for me. He's been like a new player. He's been brilliant.
He's been very good, very good. Conor Barron.
Again, absolute hit for me, man. The dynamo, the energy, the kind of passion he's got about the game and that, and the dedication to like some of the hard tackling and constant runnings, never stopped moving and things like that. I'd say Barron's a hit for me. I prefer it. I don't think it's the same team when Barron's not playing.
I think we've been better because Barron's been out of the team. But I think what we need to remember is Barron's a young player settling in. He came in, he hit that big high initially because he could do things like run and make a tackle that we hadn't seen Rangers central midfielders do. He brought this industry, this energy. Him and Raskin in centre mid together in Europe. Brilliant. 2 Bulldogs. Absolutely great. I want to see Barron develop a wee bit more now, if that makes any sense. I really want to see him kick on and develop. But he's got a challenge, but because he needs to fight for his place back in the team. Who else is there? Spoke about drama and that. And Jeffy.
Yeah, I would say Jeffy's a hit overall. He's had a few moments here and there, a few mistakes, but you forget Jeffy's actually like only a 20-year-old guy as well. Right. I would say he's a hit. He's a big miss when he's not in the team.
Right, definitely.
And I kind of like this thing you've got where they're playing him and Ridvan down the same side as well.
Right. I think that works in Europe. It worked really well against Tottenham just because we needed runners to match their runners. That did work really, really well. Kudos to come on for doing that. I think Jeff Day's an exciting one, to be honest with you. I think his delivery needs a good bit of work. But see, for somebody you signed between 300 and 500k, can you really complain? A guy who's came for a year's loan in Cyprus, it's a good find to me, to be honest with you. I think it could be worth.
Aye.
He's kind of similar to what we wanted Ridvan to be.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
And I mean, those type of acquisitions as well are ones that we're not doing a lot of, where we're picking up young talents, fairly low cost, and then they're coming in and be an absolute mainstay for us and like first team on the sheet. So yeah, he's been an absolute hit. It's been a great example of this player trading model that we're trying to implement allegedly somehow.
Another kind of theory, a conspiracy, or whatever you want to call it. Another thought in my head. Team comes in for Ridvan, gives us our money back in January. Do you promote Robbie Fraser to be Jeff Day's deputy and streamline the first team that way instead of going out and buying another left back when there's no need to.
Absolutely, I think so. I think that's something we also need to do more of. Actually relying on these young players, young men coming through, to show them there's actually a light at the end of the tunnel. In terms of definitely, we should be doing that.
Mhm.
Speaking of that kind of side, then, so Ridvan this season, hit or miss?
Miss, mate. He had a shot against Ross County and got injured, and he was out for however long.
Missed that penalty as well against Celtic.
Oh, that's pure you. That's pure.
Listen, I know
he's got more bravery than your number 9 to hit a fucking penalty.
Right, I'll give you that. That whole, I wasn't involved in many of the pods over that period, but them first 5 penalty takers, man, my lord, like, see the first 3 wasn't unhappy, that's fine, and then seeing Ridvan come up and I'm like, are we sending a second choice left back up to hit this penalty? Aye, if strikers on the pitch, and then I couldn't believe when Butland came up to take one. Arguably, he hit one of the better penalties, but still, your keeper's in the first 5. I mean, how do we pick our penalties? Is it manager? Is it the captain? Is it just guys going, I'll hit one? But
see, to me, if I was come on, I would have been saying it's a high pressure cup final. The players are new in this situation. He's new in the situation. If I'm playing fit a manager, I say, who wants to hit a penalty? 5 folk put the horn up and I go, right, just go and don't change your mind. That's what I would do. But then I've never been in that situation, so I don't know how you would handle it. Would you practice them all week? I would definitely go with guys that thought they were confident they were going to put the ball away, but then you'd expect your number 9 to put his fucking horn up to take one.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Where else? Sorry. Oh, folk keep bringing up Robin Proper. Stuart Allison says his Propers are better than Ben Davies. Now, just for a wee bit of context, this Ben Davies has got like 3 out of 5 man matches for Birmingham down in League One. He's still under contract. He's only on loan to them. Birmingham fans are wanting to keep him. Would you potentially get rid of Proper and bring Ben Davies back?
I think it's a like for like, mate.
Aye.
I don't think we're strengthening the team any more or less by keeping one and getting rid of the other. But also for context, is Scott Wright not down there like running the show? They think he's a absolute star player.
Aye.
So I don't know. It's maybe not the same standard. But the Birmingham League One now, or the Championship.
Aye, League One.
Right.
League One West. League One West. Aye, they're League One. If they want to keep him, I would let them keep him.
Aye.
And we can just play proper against any team that isn't physically up for it against us. And I think we'll be alright moving forward.
So we'll just be keeping Proper on the bench then for any domestic game.
That's what I mean. But you seen why he didn't get started last night? Because it's in one player's fucking ragdolled him.
Honestly. I don't get, man. I know he's come out and said it himself, but you're the captain of 20 for ages, and 20 were raging when he was let go for us to acquire him. And honestly, I don't see it at all. Anytime I see him near the team sheet, I'm just like, oh my god, man, absolute fear. I'm just seeing some of the comments there. If we were getting rid of Davies, if we were getting a fee from him and getting that 27k off the wage sheet, then I don't think you can argue with that either.
No, you can't. You definitely can't.
But literally what we're talking about, I'd say Proper's a miss.
Just no, right? Just no. I like him in Europe, but he needs to learn it. As a centre back that apparently was in when he played in 20, he was getting on it. Strikers getting in the heats and rallying people up, and I'm not seeing any of that. He looks scared to a ball coming down out the wind. Well, anyway.
Talking about defenders then, How do you think John Souttar this season, before the injury, obviously?
Thought he'd been good, I thought he'd been alright. Still think there's that kind of error in him. But John Souttar's a siege defender. See, when John Souttar's playing in Europe, he's always going to be man of the match. See, when John Souttar's on Scotland duty, he's probably going to get man of the match if he starts, because when he's playing for an underdog, he's very good. Very good player. He's got a lot to prove in terms of doing it as well. Number one centre half though, and that starts by keeping fit. He needs to stay fit. He's done it. He's done a groin, right? That's not a recurrence, any energy, any injury for beforehand and all that. So you need to make allowances, but aye, definitely. I'm impressed. I'm quite happy with him.
I'd say the hit this season.
And just quickly to finish up on Tav, I think Tav getting dropped was probably the best thing that's happened to him, because he's come back. He's look at his goal up at Ross County. He's found that wee bit of form again, and he's taken over. And his teams can't target a right back position because he can't run back to get a ball and all this kind of stuff. So, I'm quite happy with right back position too. Is there anybody else you want to talk about before we wrap up, mate?
It's Leon Balogun. He's been a hit. Again, he's just getting to that stage in his career where he probably needs to be managed smartly. Like, because he's going to pick up like just the kind of strain injuries like that, like last night, which when the timing of it was terrible because we were without him for most of the game. But I'd say he's a hit, and I'd probably give him a year-on-year rolling contract. If he's fit and playing and performing, then keep it going. But we'll see how he recovers for this.
I know. It's a shame. I like Big Balogun. I just wish we'd got him 10 years ago.
I know.
I really do like him because there's... You forgot Dibble. Right. Dibble's a miss. Stu. I think this guy's taking the piss.
Oh, see, every time I see him warming up, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, no, man. Like, why? Put one of the Waynes on, put Bailey Rice on, don't put Kieran Dowell on. Honestly.
I know. Do
you know who we didn't actually... Jack Butland, we didn't say hit or miss for. We did talk about him a lot at the start, but...
He's a hit, but it's a very slight hit for me. Last season, he's first name the team sheet and all that, but his form's fell off a cliff. His influences fell off a cliff.
I'd say he's more of a... I'd say probably he's edging miss this season. Because I feel like even though the defence hasn't been great, like it's still things that I feel like, how could he not have got to that or made a better job of that? And I don't think he's really far off Liam Kelly, like displacing him in the team.
You've been asked
yes,
to say...
Alison, absolutely.
You honestly think Liam Kelly deserves a run of games over Jack Butland, though?
I think he's getting to that stage, aye. Don't get us wrong, Jack Butland's a big name, he's a kind of star player, he's come from, a former England international, played for big teams, big clubs. He's got that kind of air about him, that kind of captaincy air. He speaks well, he kind of carries himself well, presents well. He probably looked as quite a kind of strong character in the first team, but I think based on performances, got somebody who's was playing as a top goalie, albeit in the Scottish League, then I think you got to let nobody's beyond getting dropped if they're not performing.
That's it. I know, mate. That's it. Right, well, I think we'll wrap up there because I don't know how much breath I've got left, to be honest with you. I've been struggling here.
Did you watch the Gavin and Stacey finale?
No, I missed it this year, mate. I'm gutted. Did you see it?
Mate, saw him. I was in bits, mate. I was in bits.
Yeah. No, I missed it this year. I wonder if anybody in the comments saw it. That'd be... I need to sit and watch it when I feel a wee bit better, but it would send me over edge just now if I was to watch that pub.
Well, check out.
Everybody like and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, type in the Rangers Journal onto Facebook. Hit a like button for me. If you're on Insta, do the same. Twitter, TikTok, and any other social media platforms. And also there is at least Tenno, he's not subscribed to the channel watching us just now, so hit that subscribe button and help the channel grow. Stu, thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
No bother at all, no bother at all. We will be back. I don't even know what day of the week it is just now. It's Friday. It's Friday,
Is
innit?
it Friday today?
Aye, we're playing Sunday. Playing Sunday with Motherwell away. So we'll be back with your pre-match thoughts for Motherwell and a post-match reaction for Motherwell as well. As I say, please like and subscribe, and remember, every night is Rangers Journal night. Cheers.